joining us again, talking some Lakers-Warriors, one of only 2 games on the slate. How did Russell Westbrook do in his L.A. debut? Wasn't great. Russ struggled to fit in, just 8 points on 4 of 13 shooting. LeBron, though, not worried about his new running mate, saying he just needs to be himself and not worry about the outcome. So, Twan, you were high on Russ coming into this season. What'd you make of his debut last night?
Obviously, he didn't play well last night, but I'm not worried. I do believe he's going to rebound from this. But when you're a superstar, you're going to a team to play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. One thing you got to do is realize you're going to have to sacrifice a lot, and that's going to be the biggest challenge for Russ. Can he sacrifice offensively, not having the ball in his hands, not being able to take 20, 25 shots, and be efficient with low shot attempts and with limited opportunities on the offensive end? Now, I'm not going to put everything on him. Now, it's LeBron's job and AD's job to get him comfortable in certain situations, but it's also Frank Vogel's job. And, Chris, I heard you talking earlier about maybe putting Russ with that second unit a little bit more. This is the first game, so I'm not going to look for a lot of huge adjustments. You're going to have to let it play out. But Russ is going to have to make some adjustments because he's not a great three-point shooter, so he can't stand in the corner and shoot threes. But he may have to post up a lot more than he did in the past, and he's a great post-up player for a point guard. He's going to have to learn how to play without the ball, maybe cutting to the basket and doing those things. But he still can rebound. He still can be a great defender. But LeBron James is going to dominate the ball. We saw last night that's what LeBron's at his best, and Russ is going to have to figure it out. And that's what superstars do if you want to win a championship. And I think Russ is committed to that. He's going to be a first-time ballot Hall of Famer, but he's missing the championship. I think he's going to eventually commit to that.
I agree with all of that, and I wish the Lakers' issues last night, Antoine, were as simple as Russ played terribly. But to me, it was far greater than that. Because in a game where LeBron James hits 12 jump shots and Steph Curry is ice cold, that should be a Lakers blowout win. Instead, the Lakers lost. And they lost because they had a gross, congested offense. LeBron is not going to shoot 45% on 11 threes per game for the year. That's what he did last night. So can we show LeBron's shot chart? Because to me, that is indicative of why last night's game was more than a blip. 1 make at the rim, and it was a transition dunk. Broussard, you got DeAndre Jordan out there for no reason. You got Dwight Howard out there. Obviously, Russ is going to cause some spacing issues when he's out there. You don't want a center out there. It's why the Rockets traded Capella away when they had it. And so if you're going to have this long, poor shooting team, the trade-off's supposed to be, but we're great defensively. But you let the Warriors score 121, and Steph was bad. So I don't think it's as simple as Russ was bad last night. I think what it was last night was the Lakers, as they are presently constituted, at least until the guys get back from injury, Ellington and THT and Nunn and Ariz, because they already have 4 guys dinged, THT more than dinged, they are really going to struggle to manufacture points in the half court that aren't Anthony Davis and LeBron just being great individually. And so they're going to have to get out in transition, which, how do you get out in transition? You get stops. So oddly, I think the solution to the offense is getting back to who they were defensively last year, which is the #1 defense in basketball. But I thought last night the Lakers looked awful. I thought they looked awful in the first half when they were winning, and much less in the second half when they let a 10-point lead, squandered it in the fourth quarter.
Well, you're right, Nick. It wasn't all about Russ struggling. It was a team, they all contributed to that loss. Outside of really LeBron and AD, who played tremendously, you mentioned 121 points. Let's keep it real. It could have been even worse because the first 3 quarters, Golden State wasn't behind because the Lakers locked them down. They were behind simply because they were missing wide open shots. It was as simple as that. They were missing jump shots. And I think the Lakers went big. I mean, I was stunned to see DeAndre Jordan in the starting lineup. But they went big thinking that that was going to be their advantage over Golden State. And it will be an advantage over teams. I mean, their size can be a problem if you play big. There's no point in going big if you're not going to play big. And they didn't play big last night. That's why they couldn't guard. Golden State's moving all over the floor, moving the ball, and the big lineups for the Lakers could not follow them, could not stick with them. That's why they got so many open shots. But if you're going to do that, punish them on the other end. And look, Anthony Davis posted a little bit. But here's an example on the screen. He had Juan Toscano Anderson on him, who's much smaller, right here. Instead of going big on him, he shoots a fadeaway jumper. Now, he makes it, but I would rather you go inside, punish him, give him something to think about, like, man, we can't handle these guys' size. You get them in foul trouble, you wear them down, you change the game. If the Lakers aren't going to play big, then you might as well not go big. That's the first thing. Now, Twan, I want to get to you because I agree with everything you said regarding Russ. Here's what I want to ask you, though. You know this, man. At a certain time, your game is your game. And Russ, for 12 years in the NBA, has not only played with the ball in his hands, but he's been dominant. As you said, he's going to be one of the top 75 players ever, I imagine. And so he's had success doing that. Do you think he really, at this stage, can switch to just playing off the ball when he's not a good shooter and being effective off the ball? Even if he can do it, how effective will he be? Will he essentially be kind of an athletic, glorified role player? So I want to know, can he make that adjustment, and how effective will he be if he does make it?
I believe he can make the adjustment, and all guys have made this, and I only can speak from my own personal experience, Chris. When I went to the Miami Heat, I was a 20-10 guy, and I had to figure out how to play with D-Wade and Shaq and with limited touches and be effective, and I did it, and I was a hothead. And I wanted to score 20 and 25 a night. Obviously, Russ is going to be a first-time ballot Hall of Fame. He's a great player, but he's missing something on his resume, and he's not an NBA champion yet. And I think he'll make that sacrifice. I think he wants to win one in L.A. I think it's a big dream of his. I've watched all the press clippings and how excited he is to be back. And I think with LeBron James, this is what separates LeBron James from every superstar in his league. He figures it out how to make guys comfortable and how to play with him when he's chasing the title. And he's the best at it. And I think LeBron James will figure this out, help him in the process, as long as Russ is willing to make the sacrifice that's needed. And that's going to be limited touches, have to do some things that he hasn't been able to do, slashing off the ball, playing without the ball. And I think Russ will make those sacrifices. So I'm looking forward to seeing this adjustment to this. And they're fine. It's one game in there. But I would just like to say the last thing. The Lakers can't play big. This league has changed now. You can't play the traditional two bigs, unfortunately. But AD and LeBron have to bump up. LeBron has to play power forward, and AD has to play the center.
Yes.
That's going to be their best lineup. That's going to be their best. That's going to be their best lineup with this group. I know it looks good in size, but that's the traditional way back you played in the early 2000s. Those lineups do not work down the league.
That's right.
All right, the Warriors take the season opener over the Lakers. The other game last night, Nets and above the Bull. We're talking some Ben Simmons, the soap opera that just keeps on giving. So Ben Simmons was thrown out of Sixers practice yesterday by head coach Doc Rivers after he repeatedly declined to take part in a drill. Sixers sent Ben home and then suspended him for the season opener tonight against New Orleans. What an absolute mess there, my own stomping grounds of Philadelphia. Take a listen to both Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid on what happened yesterday.
I just thought he was a distraction today. I didn't think he wanted to do what everybody else was doing. And it was early. It wasn't a big deal. I just told him he should leave then. And we went on with practice.
At this point, I don't care about that man, honestly. He does whatever he wants. That's not my job. That's those guys' jobs. I'm only focused on trying to make the team better, win some games, play hard every night, try to lead, the guys that we have here. And I'm sure they feel the same way because, our chemistry has been excellent. Despite everything that's been happening the last few months, like I said, I don't really care. But at the end of the day, our job is not to babysit somebody. We get paid to produce on the court, go on, play hard, win some games. That's what we get paid for. We don't get paid to come out here and, try to babysit